So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Google Pixel 4a versus Galaxy A51 speed test. Let's begin with a boot up in 3, 2, couple little hairs on there. Let me get those boys off first. They're driving me crazy. Let's go ahead and begin with this boot up in 3, 2, 1. Got a dog in the house. He be shedding all over the place. I don't know how it gets on these phones, but sometimes it does. Now, in this video, we're gonna go ahead and see how fast is this 349 Pixel 4a versus this 349 A51. Sometimes I found the A51 even cheaper, but the Pixel 4a says sit down Exynos 9611 A51. I'm gonna take the cake on the boot up, and by a long shot. Look how long this A51 just took to turn on. So the Galaxy A51 definitely loses on the boot up, and this phone over here has 6 gigabytes of RAM. This Galaxy A51 does have 4, although there is an A51 with 6 gigs of RAM. Also, I know some people want to see the Pixel 4a versus maybe the A71, so just comment A71 down below if you want to see that, and the S10e as well, and potentially the OnePlus Nord. Okay guys, so when it comes to their fingerprint sensors, the Pixel 4a has it on the rear. It's easy to feel out, and I find it to be faster in most respects. Now, the Galaxy A51 has the newer kind of in-display fingerprint sensor technology. However, you kind of got to get used to how it's placed. Although when you get it correct, it's pretty quick as well. So there's not a big disparity in speed as long as you click it correctly on the A51. But I find the experience more consistent, more reliable on the Google Pixel 4a. But since we are doing a speed test, let's go ahead and just see what they look like when, comparing them in speed. And you could see the Pixel 4a just responds faster. I tried this multiple times before the video. It's just a slight delay to register it there on the A51, and to me it misses more often. Even if you just tap it lightly, don't hold it down too long, hold it down a little longer, Nick, you're making a mistake. Whatever you want to say, I'm telling you, the A51, you're just gonna miss more on this phone than the Google Pixel 4a. Okay guys, so here we are at the application portion of this speed test. I'm gonna close all out there for the A51, and we'll go over here on the Pixel 4a and close everything out. And we'll begin over here with calculator in 3, 2, and 1. And you could see pretty similar. Let's go home. Both have gestures, which is nice. Let's go to clock. And you could see that was the Galaxy A51 9611 Snapdragon 730G on the left. Let's go into Play Store, and you can see Pixel 4a there. But the whole story is not just the launch speed. You can see that sometimes the Galaxy A51 will have more stuttering when scrolling. I noticed that a lot. Like it just will just hang sometimes when you're scrolling versus the Pixel 4a, which feels very smooth by comparison. Let's go into Instagram. And you can see Instagram first there on the left, and then there for the A51. Both pretty comparable in just everyday basic apps. Let's go into Twitter, and you can see that's the Google Pixel 4a. We'll go over here to profile page, and 4a again. But look at the scrolling difference. There's more chop I'm seeing on that Samsung over there. Neither of these are perfect, though. They both have a little bit of chop, but Pixel 4a seems a little smoother. And you can see this one goes to the A51, definitely. So the A51 can open some apps faster. Let's go into Amazon, and you can see Amazon pretty similar. I couldn't even see that. They're really close. I mean, both of these are budget phones, so do keep that in mind. But again, look at the scrolling. There's just more hang here on the Samsung when scrolling through the page, which is a little bit concerning because sometimes it feels like the phone's just lagging. Let's go into Spotify. And you can see Spotify pretty close. I think it might have been the Samsung, but it was pretty close here on Spotify. And we're going to go ahead now and go to Dead Trigger 2 in 3, 2, 1. And you can see a little bit of a delay on the touch response for the A51. Google Pixel 4a boots up that faster. We'll hit play here on both. And you can see which one's actually going to get into the game first. And you can see it's the Google Pixel 4a, which I found to be pretty much the case. Now, when in gameplay, both of them actually perform just fine, especially in more casual games. Neither of these are going to be the smoothest frame rates. Get a gaming phone if you want that, but both of these can play most mobile games pretty decently, actually, if you're just willing to wait a little bit longer for load times. Okay, guys, so next up is PUBG Mobile 3, 2, 1. and see which one could actually load this game up first. Now, this one usually runs slower on phones with slower hardware, and it's the case here with both of these. However, you're seeing the Pixel 4a outperforms the A51 here in the games, not just on the loads, but in the actual gameplay. I found it to be better. However, the A51 has better battery life, so take it for what it is, either better battery life or better performance. Kind of pick and choose what you prefer. But you've seen that the A51's going through these little screens here, but overall it was going to load slower than the Google Pixel 4a. So definitely a little bit slower there to load up PUBG Mobile. Let's go ahead and start a match and see which one can match up first. And let's load it up and see which one gets in there. Now, both of these, again, these aren't gaming phones, so don't expect some blazing fast performance. You click it and just right away, everything's just quickly loading up. It takes a couple seconds, but you're in there on the Pixel 4a and then on the Galaxy A51. But the fun thing is that both of these can run the game. And if you don't play games on your phone, you probably won't care about that section. So let's go ahead now and go to speedtest.net. And you can see a little bit slower there to respond on the A51. And we'll come home here and now we'll go to Geekbench. And you can see Geekbench first there on the left for the Pixel 4a. So I'd say overall, the Pixel 4a is a faster phone. It just feels faster in the applications. It feels faster in the gaming. It boots up faster, fingerprint. All around, the Pixel 4a feels faster than the A51 so far. Okay guys, so now let's run back through the applications to see if anything reloads on either. You can see so far, so good. You can see a little bit of chop there on the A51, but both of them did come home there. Let's go into the Dead Trigger 2. And you can see, there we go. We'll come home here on the A51 and let's go into Spotify. And you can see both of them did load about the same. Let's go into Amazon. So Amazon looked like it was reloading there for the A51. Let's go into eBay. And you can see pretty good. Let's go into Twitter. Reload there for the A51. No reload for the Pixel 4a. Again, the 4 gig of RAM version here. Let's go into Instagram. You can see another reload there for the A51. So that's where the extra RAM comes into play. The Play Store reloaded as well. That 6 gigs of RAM. I always said it and I'll continue to say it. Android phones need at least 6 gigs of RAM or they're going to be reloading some apps. And you can see Pixel 4a reloaded nothing. The A51 started reloading stuff after like eBay over there. Okay, so we're at the internet test. I'm going to go ahead and go to a few websites here. We'll start with wikipedia.com on the Google Pixel 4a. We'll go to Wikipedia on the A51, on the A51. We'll go over here and hit go. And you can see right now, that is the Google Pixel 4a, a little bit faster. When it comes to their scrolling speed, again, both of them pretty good. I find the A51 to hang sometimes, however, even in scrolling on the web browsers, but pretty good there. We'll go to target.com here for the Google Pixel 4a, and we'll go to target.com here for the Galaxy A51 in 3, 2, go. And you can see a little bit quicker there for the left in the Google Pixel 4a. Again here, pretty decent for the A71. And we'll go to facebook.com to cap it off here. For the Google Pixel 4a, facebook.com, and over here, facebook.com. Let's just see what it can do. Cannot type to save my life right now. Let's go ahead and hit .com. 3, 2, go. And you can see Pixel 4a slightly on that one. Now, this could be different if we use a Samsung browser, but you can also download the Samsung browser for any Android phone. So we just use the 2 browsers that are included with both phones. And let's see which one can actually do a quicker camera opening time and take a photo. 3, 2, 1. And you can see pretty close. Was that the A51 maybe? Let's go ahead now and take a photo. And pretty even there. I'd say the A51 might be snapping those a hair quicker. And there's also a little bit of a processing that happens here, right down here on the Google Pixel 4a. So you probably can get faster photos on the Galaxy A51. Also, they both do have this way to unlock the camera just simply by going like this. It's called like quick launch. And you can see the Pixel 4a was a little bit faster with that. However, with the A51, you do get that ultra wide angle camera on board. There's also 2 other cameras on this phone. So that is a major win for the A51 at this price point versus the single camera on the Pixel 4a, but you get amazing results out of that one camera as well on the 4a. Okay, so the final Geekbench scores are in, and yes, 552 on the single. Over here, 256 for the A51. Remember, this is Geekbench 5. The scores are a little bit lower than they used to be on the 4 version, so don't be fooled by these numbers. They're pretty decent for budget phones. You can see 1531 on the multi for the Pixel 4a, 1190 for the A51. So the Pixel 4a outperforms it in the benchmarks as well. It's also a little bit better optimized, I feel like. So overall, the Pixel 4a has shown to be the better performer here. The better pick if you care more about your performance than like features in the camera and the battery life, because that's where the A51 beats the Pixel 4a. I'm not saying the camera quality is better, but more features, as in more camera features than the Pixel 4a. Bigger battery, also bigger display, and more One UI features over the simplistic Google Pixel 4a, which you might like more though. It's really up to you. If you want to see a full comparison between both of these, let me know down below in the comment section. Any more comparisons with or speed tests with 4a that you would like to see that I missed out on, drop it down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Thank you all very much for continuing to watch and support the channel. I will catch you all in the next episode. Be sure to stay safe, stay well, and peace.